I am still shaking writing this, but I'm posting it as a warning to anybody walking alone at night, and honestly, as a reminder to trust your gut no matter what. 2 nights ago, I was walking by myself in downtown Long Beach. If you know the area, I was walking from the Pike to the Westin Hotel parking structure to get my car. The walk itself is about 10 minutes. To give you a little bit more context, usually I am completely oblivious when I walk. I love walking and I love being by the beach. I always wear headphones with my music blasting and I'm totally in my own world, and I also usually wear heels when I dress up. I was wearing a beige leather dress last night, but because of how far the parking lot was, I decided at the last second to wear flat shoes. That single decision and the fact that I left my headphones off probably saved my life. I was about a block away from my car crossing the street when I noticed a man ranging from maybe a few years older to 10 years older watching me. He crossed halfway into the street, but then abruptly doubled back to the exact same block I was on. I made a left turn at the corner. He went straight. I continued walking for a while. I was close to nearing the edge of the block when I turned around, and I realized that the same man that doubled back was walking in the same direction as me, all the way down at the end of the block. I started to panic. I tried to duck into an entrance to get off the street, but I couldn't find my ticket in my purse, and even if I had, there was no way to get in. I was trapped outside. I kept walking and looked back. He had made a left and was closing the distance. Up ahead, I saw 3 girls who looked like they were heading to a club. I didn't think twice. I just forced myself into their group and started walking with them. 4 of us, one of them. I pulled out my phone and called the police because at this point, he had crossed the street and was right behind us. He still kept following us. We made a left turn, and the second we had a chance, the girls and I literally sprinted sideways across the sidewalk so we couldn't catch up before the light changed. There was a bar right ahead, and we ran inside screaming for help. When the man walked past the bar, he didn't even look at me. He just kept walking straight like he hadn't just spent the last few blocks hunting me down. The absolute second his isolation and privacy were stripped away, he acted like nothing happened. I made it home safe and unharmed because of those 3 amazing girls and because I happened to have flat shoes on and no headphones. If I had been at my usual baseline, buzzed, deaf to my surroundings, and unable to run in heels, I don't even want to think about what he would have done to me when I got stuck at that locked entrance. So please trust your instincts. If somebody feels like they are tracking you, they probably are. Don't worry about being polite. Make a scene, find a crowd, and don't stop running until you're safe. The year was 1991 and I was 6 years old living in Winnipeg. My family was already in the middle of an unthinkable nightmare. My 10-year-old sister named Robin had just passed away. I was the only child left and the grief in our house was heavy and suffocating. I went over to my friend Holly's place just to get out of the house, looking for any shred of normal childhood. We decided to do what we always did, ride our bikes around the block. It was a beautiful, quiet summer day, kind of afternoon where you feel like nothing bad can happen. But on our 3rd lap around the neighborhood, the atmosphere changed. We noticed a van. It was a beat-up white freezer van with no windows in the back. Just a solid rusted metal shell. As it pulled up beside us, it didn't just drive past. It slowed to a crawl, and the engine had this horrible rhythmic rattle to it. A sound like metal grinding on metal. Being so young, we didn't immediately have that stranger danger alarm go off. We were mostly just confused. We actually slowed down and stopped our bikes to see what they wanted, and the van stopped right along with us, idling heavily. The passenger window was already rolled down, revealing a pitch-black interior that seemed to swallow the sunlight. I looked at the passenger, and the images burned into my brain. He was gaunt, with yellowed teeth and long frizzy straggly hair that looked like it hadn't been washed in weeks. Then the world seemed to move in slow motion. The passenger door swung open. The man put one heavy foot out onto the pavement, shifting his weight as if he were about to lunge. At the same time, I heard the heavy, clunky thud of the side sliding door beginning to retract. The passenger didn't even look at us. He turned his head back into the darkness of the van and said 7 words I'll never forget. "You grab one, I'll grab the other." He said it loud enough for me to hear it clearly, like he didn't even care that we were listening. Pure cold adrenaline hit us. We didn't scream or cry, just slammed our feet onto the pedals. We were only a few houses away, and I remember my heart hammering against my ribs so hard that it hurt. We didn't even stop to kick our kickstands, just ditched the bikes right on the grass in the driveway and scrambled inside, slamming the front door and throwing the lock on. Holly's mom was in the house and was immediately confused. Seeing us burst in crying and shaking, she assumed that we had just fallen off our bikes and scraped our knees. We were gasping, trying to tell her a van was following us, but to her, the rattling engine she could hear outside just sounded like normal street noise. There was no reason for her to be afraid until she looked at us and saw the sheer terror in our eyes. She went to the front window and her face went completely pale. She saw the van. She watched as it slowly, deliberately crept past the house, almost at a walking pace. With our bikes lying right there on the lawn like neon markers, they knew exactly where we had gone. She stayed by that window, her hand on the lock, telling us that it was going to be alright, but she never took her eyes off the street until that rattling engine finally faded into the distance. When my mom came to pick me up later, she was already a shell of herself from the loss of my sister. Telling her that I had almost been taken, that she had almost lost her only remaining child in the same week, devastated her. It was a second trauma piled on top of a fresh wound. It's a weight that I still carry, realizing that if we had just been a few seconds slower, my mother's world would have been completely extinguished. So to the man with the yellow teeth and the people in the back of that rattling white van, let's not meet, please.